Hey guys, it's Timmy, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. As we're here on Tuesday to talk another Smackdown Live. It is the 15th of January. Tonight's Smackdown wasn't a bad show, but I wouldn't say it was a great show. I actually preferred Raw over SmackDown this week. I thought SmackDown was actually a little bit better this week. You guys may not agree with that. Some may not. Well, let's see who is here with us in the chat. Got, oh man, and my chat just froze. Let me fix that. We've got, all right, Kristen McNutt, Sean Cook, Daniel Davis, Lola Cruz, Henry McKenna Cavallo. What is going on, everybody? Well, tonight's SmackDown, like I said, I liked Raw better than SmackDown this week. Yeah, shocker. Usually SmackDown's the better show, but I didn't think so. I actually thought Raw was the better show this week. So with that, SmackDown started off a little weird. A little bit weird. SmackDown started off, and we saw Becky Lynch drive up. And she just gets to park her car wherever she wants. She doesn't got to worry about, oh, well, that's not a real parking spot. No, she just parks her car wherever she wants. And Kayla Braxton greets her as she gets out of her car and basically was just like, so Becky, last week we saw you come out and be victorious and you could now face Asuka. She's like, it's just random the way she was saying it. It's like, she was just like, you're going to face Asuka. What do you think? And Becky just kind of giggles. And she was like, I'll tell you in the ring. So she walks off. And then we see the New Day with Heavy Machinery. I don't know what the heck was going on here. Well, I do and I don't. So they're making, I guess you could say, a smoothie? A shake? Otis Dozovich doing his thing like last night. He was like, I'm like, what are you doing to Otis? Otis is just a bumbling idiot. So you had Otis Dozovich and Tucker Knight there. You had the New Day. Big E's just rubbing his belly or whatever. It was weird. And they start making this weird smoothie. They're throwing all this stuff in it. There's some weird floury stuff. Then they throw some pancakes in there. Then they throw some just raw tuna and eggs with the shell and all. And Otis takes a drink. He's like, And he looks at the New Day. He's like, want a drink? And you hear Xavier Woods. He's like, no. And then Becky walks up and takes a drink. And she goes, ain't strong enough. Or something along those lines. She's just like, it's not strong enough. And I'm like, what the heck? So you see Becky walking through the back, and you hear the crowd, Becky, 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 and she comes out to the ring. So Becky comes out, and she just talks about how she's going to have the opportunity to take her title back come the Royal Rumble. She's going to get the championship from Asuka, and Asuka comes out. She noted that Lynch is all talk and hype. Asuka said, after the Royal Rumble, Lynch won't be in Charlotte Flair's shadow. Instead, Lynch will be in Asuka's shadow. This then brought out the IIconics. They said that it doesn't matter who wins between Lynch and Asuka because they'll win the Royal Rumble and headline WrestleMania. Lynch then challenged either Billie Kay or Peyton Royce to face her right now. So we did get a Becky Lynch versus a Peyton Royce. Okay match. Asuka sat at ringside, and in the back we saw Lacey Evans, who was watching the match. Lynch was firmly in control of the match. Royce caught Lynch with a punch to take over. She slowed down the pace. Lynch made a comeback and caught Royce with a clothesline. Royce rolled to the floor, and Kay checked on her. Lynch tried to attack, but Royce rocked her with a clothesline to take over. But after a commercial break, Peyton Royce had the advantage, but Lynch fought back. Lynch sat on the turnbuckle, but Royce caught her with a kick for a near fall. Royce tried to pin Lynch, but she rolled through and locked in the disarmor for the victory. So Becky Lynch. So Becky Lynch does end up coming up victorious here. After the match, Asuka jumped in the ring and just started screaming in Japanese. Like, I have no clue what she was saying. The announcers were like, what? I think that was a challenge by Asuka. So, I guess Asuka makes the challenge, and the IIconics are walking off, and Asuka goes and grabs Billie Kay and throws her in the ring, and I think it was Tom Phillips goes, I guess we got a match? So we get Asuka versus Billie Kay really, really quick. Basically, Asuka dominated her and then put her in the disarmor and showed Becky, I could do your move just as good as you can. So after the match, Asuka and Lynch went face to face. AJ Styles' music hits. And he walks down to the ring. He walks around the ring. He then jumps the barricade and walks up into the crowd. Goes up the steps. Corey Graves is just like, what is AJ doing? Where's Styles going? What the heck has happened? So after a commercial break, we see that AJ's at the concession stand. And correct me if I'm wrong. Have you guys ever been to a WWE show where on the same table is the merch and the hot dogs that they're selling with the whole pump, ketchup, and relish and mustard? I've never been to a show where they've had that. I know this was all set up just for this, but AJ was there. He was throwing out t-shirts and stuff to the fans. I wonder if those are the real fans getting free merch. That'd be cool. As he's doing that, a man in a black hoodie who ended up being Daniel Bryan attacks AJ. They brawled before AJ ended up putting Bryan through a table. That same table that was housing the hot dogs. So then in the back, you got the Usos doing some sort of a weird, what do you call it, photo shoot. And it's like, why would they be doing this photo shoot? Like, really? Anyways, they get a package, and Jimmy Uso thinks it's from his wife, Naomi. Jay reads it, and it's got a nice, sweet message, and he thinks, oh, my anniversary's tomorrow. This is from my wife. So Jay reads it to Jimmy, and in the end, it says, from Mandy, and it's got her hotel key, and Jay's like, what you gonna do? And Jimmy's like, man, I don't know. My first thought was, you really contemplate cheating on your wife? I mean, we know that he didn't. We know what happens. But it's just like, really? They really wanted us to think that he was contemplating adultery? He was contemplating being unfaithful to poor old Naomi? So then we see Samoa Joe. He's walking through the back, and he stops for a second as he sees EC3 admiring himself in a mirror. Yeah, EC3. He's been on Raw, been on Smackdown 2 nights in a row, just as a random backstage guy. I get it. They want to just randomly show these people, but that's not the way to go. That's not the way to go at all with EC3 or any of these people. I mean, just like I said with Lacey Evans, we've only just seen her standing around backstage as well. So then Kayla Braxton interviews Andrade. Yes, just Andrade. Well, it's Andrade and Zelina Vega, but he's no longer Andrade Cien Almas. He's just simply Andrade. Andrade noted that Mysterio was his idol, but times are different now. He promised to defeat Mysterio later tonight. Vega guaranteed that Andrade would win the Rumble. So then we were supposed to get Samoa Joe versus Mustafa Ali, but the match never happened because Samoa Joe attacked Ali before the match started. He threw him into the ring post and beat him down at ringside. He then threw him into the ring post again, and Ali went flying. Joe teased walking away, but then he came back. He teased powerbombing Ali through the announce table, but then he just threw him into the barricade instead. Then in the back, we see Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. And Sonya was kind of like trying to be the voice of reason to Mandy. And she was just like, you're really going to do this? You really gave him your hotel key? You really want Jimmy to come? She was like, I hate Naomi. I can't stand her. And what's the worst thing that I can do to her? break up her marriage. And Sonya Deville's looking at her like, no, really, you shouldn't be doing this. And so Mandy walks off to where we assume she's just still at the arena, but apparently she left to go to her hotel. Rey Mysterio's walking backstage, and as he did, he ran into Nikki Cross, who was in some sort of a cage. She was like behind a fence, and she was yelling at Rey, "Let's have fun. I can have fun with you, Rey. Rey, we can have fun." Weird. Caleb Braxton asked Samoa Joe why he attacked Ali. Joe laughed at her, and he said it wasn't an attack. He's entering his first Royal Rumble, and he promised to win. He said 29 other superstars in that match, they're his target. And what he did to Ali is what he's going to do to everybody else. So then, we got one hell of a match. We expected this to be a really good match. Andrade versus Rey Mysterio. Like I said, this is a very great match. Very fast-paced back-and-forth action. These two are just... We thought Rey and Alberto Del Rio were really good together. Oh, that was nothing compared to Rey and Andrade. So they traded moves early, but Mysterio slowed the pace down with a side headlock. Andrade grabbed the mask and threw Mysterio into the ropes. Mysterio regained control and went back to the headlock. Andrade took over and worked over the elbow of Rey Mysterio. Mysterio tried to break free by bouncing off the ropes, but Andrade held on. Mysterio leaped off the second rope with the head scissors, went for the 619, but almost avoided it by moving. Almost went for a hammerlock DDT, but Mysterio rolled him up for a 2 count. Then, in a very awesome spot, almost caught Mysterio in an electric chair. Mysterio leaned forward and fell over the top rope, and they fell over the top rope to the floor. Almost landed on his knees and got back up to his feet with Mysterio still on his shoulders. He then swung Mysterio into a sit-out powerbomb. Cool spot. Wasn't the coolest spot of the match, though. After commercial break, Almas missed the double knees in the corner. He caught Mysterio, but Mysterio countered to a really, really nice DDT for a near fall. Almas threw Mysterio into the turnbuckle and hit the double knees in the corner for a 2. Mysterio tried to climb to the top turnbuckle, but Almas tripped him. He was caught between the middle and the top turnbuckle. Almas went for the double foot stomp, but Mysterio pushed him up to the apron. Mysterio followed up with the Hurricane Rana, sending Andrade to the floor. Mysterio then hit a huge senton. Andrade caught Mysterio with a back elbow for a near fall back in the ring. Mysterio then went for the Canadian Destroyer like he did last week, but Andrade countered it this time. Andrade went for a moonsault. Mysterio moved out of the way. Andrade landed on his feet and hit a standing moonsault for a near fall. Mysterio fought back as it looked like Andrade was going to have him. He had him in the powerbomb position. So he's got him up in the powerbomb position. And Rey's sitting there for a second. And then Rey literally just pops up off of the shoulders of Andrade, flips over him, and boom, another Canadian Destroyer. So that's Rey's new thing, at least with Andrade. The Canadian Destroyer. And this Canadian Destroyer looked just as wicked as the one last week. Only got a 2 count, though. Mysterio then went for the 619, but almost caught him and put him up on his shoulders. Mysterio then reversed it into a very awesome-looking crucifix bomb for a near fall. Mysterio then hit the 619, climbed to the top rope, and was distracted by Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega distracted the referee as well. Andrade then yanked Mysterio's leg, and he crotched on the top turnbuckle. He then, off the top turnbuckle, hit his hammerlock DDT on Mysterio, pinned him 1, 2, 3. There we go. Andrade defeats Rey Mysterio. And why not? You have Andrade go over. He's the new guy that you want to be pushing anyway, so yeah. Then we see Jimmy Uso walking down a corridor or a hallway at a hotel. He got to a door and they go to commercial. After commercial, Jimmy knocks on the door and enters the room. Rose is sitting in a black chair, wearing nothing but a black robe, as we assume. She told Jimmy not to be shy and to come closer to her. She stood up and took off the robe, revealing very sexy black lingerie. Jimmy stopped her and told her, we can't do this. This is not right. And then all of a sudden, a photographer, quote-unquote paparazzi, popped out of the bathroom. Yeah, popped out the bathroom, started taking a bunch of pictures. We'll talk about this for a second. So we know what happens, but pretend like Naomi doesn't show up. So Mandy's goal here is to make Naomi mad, try to break up her marriage. Not because she wants Jimmy, because she just doesn't like Naomi. So her grand scheme is that she's going to make it look like her and Jimmy were in a hotel room together and she was wearing skimpy lingerie, and that the photos don't show everything, just what started. But is she that dumb to think that maybe Naomi's watching? This is 2019. Even if Naomi wasn't at the building watching on a monitor, she could have been anywhere in the world watching on her phone. I sometimes watch Smackdown from my phone live. You can watch it on the DirecTV Now app, on the Sling TV app, the Dish Network app. You can watch it on all these different apps live. So Mandy Rose never thought that Naomi was maybe watching. Or better yet, maybe Naomi wasn't watching, but she was going to show these photos when? Next week? And what? Someone wasn't going to send this clip to Naomi on Twitter? Like, the dumbest segment they've done in a very long time, because there's no logic behind it. There was just no thinking. The writers did not think to put actual logic behind this segment. For her to be like, I'm going to have these pictures taken. It's going to look like me and Jimmy were doing something scandalous. But it's all playing on SmackDown? What? So eventually Jimmy just like, we can't do this. The photographer takes the pictures and he goes to leave. Before that, Rose noted that she doesn't want Jimmy. Like I said, she just wants to hurt Naomi. She said Naomi's never going to be as hot as she is. Rose said when Naomi sees this picture of Jimmy and her, it'll destroy her. So Jimmy leaves. And so we see him walk out the room, and then the camera's just looking straight at Mandy Rose, and she's just got this I'm frozen deadpan stare. Like, I'm told to just stand here, but I don't know what else to do until I get my cue. And then the camera pans around, and you see Naomi. Naomi throws off her earrings, and the two begin to brawl. And Mandy Rose actually gets the better of Naomi. Beats the hell out of Naomi. Beats her down. Naomi looking to snatch her bald, but in the end, Mandy got the better and fled. Jimmy finally comes in after the little scuffle, and he goes, "You okay?" And Naomi's just like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And that was it. Like, why didn't he walk in with Naomi? Why wasn't he there to break it all up so nobody got hurt? So nobody got beat down? Like, what did he wait in the hallway and he saw Mandy run out, so he's like, "Oh, crap, I better go in there. Naomi's pissed." Like, this whole segment, this whole storyline has been preposterous. It's been stupid. It's been dumb. It's been nonsensical. I just don't understand it at all. So moving forward, The Miz came out to celebrate Shane McMahon's birthday with the best birthday bash in the world. Well, that's what they were originally going to call it. The best in the world birthday bash. But then instead they ended up calling it the Bestie birthday bash. Because now they're besties. So the ring was all decorated with birthday balloons and signs and 2 cakes and the best in the world trophy, presents. Big old happy birthday Shane sign. And so Shane comes out, and Miz gave Shane a pair of Jordans as a present. McMahon loves the shoes because he's a huge Jordans fan. Miz then showed a video package of McMahon's career. McMahon thanked Miz for opening up to him a few weeks ago. McMahon then decided to share as well. He said as a kid, he dreamed of being tag team champions. He said his original partner he wanted would have been Andre the Giant. McMahon's happy to be teaming with The Miz. Miz in the crowd then sang happy birthday to Shane. And Shane looked a little, I guess you could say, what's the word I'm looking for? Embarrassed? Because he was just like, "No, you don't have to. No, don't sing to me." And they sang anyways. So then the bar comes out and interrupts. They noted that McMahon's father wasn't at the celebration. McMahon then pointed out that the Bar attacked Miz last week unprovoked, really. All by himself. He challenged Sheamus to take on The Miz right here, right now. Miz says, well, I'm not dressed to wrestle. McMahon pointed out that he wasn't ready at the Best in the World tournament, and he ended up winning. So Miz goes, you got a point. So they had the match, The Miz versus Sheamus. Miz competed in his dress pants. Miz sent Sheamus to the floor, and he almost fell into the cake. Sheamus gained control and rocked Miz with a knee in the corner. Miz fought back and hit a running dropkick in the corner. Sheamus took back over with the clothesline. Cesaro tried to interfere, but McMahon pulled him off the apron, and Cesaro fell into a cake. Miz then rolled up Sheamus for the victory. Quick match. It was effective, I guess you can say. After the match, Sheamus attacked Miz and beat him down. McMahon then made the save and attacked Sheamus. Then, they got Sheamus laying in the corner. Miz then walked up with the part of the cake and held it in Sheamus' face as Shane did the coast-to-coast, drop-kicking the cake into Sheamus' face. Miz and McMahon then both held the Best in the World trophy together, and that is how Smackdown Live went off the air. Yes, that is how Smackdown Live went off the air. With that, now I want to hear from you guys. What did you guys think of tonight's Smackdown Live? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was better than think it was better than Raw? Did you think it was worse than Raw? What did you guys think? If you do want to call into the show, you can do so right now by calling 559-475-8473. The number is in the live chat, 559-475-8473. And we do got a call.
Hello?
Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Yes, I have 3 questions short and sweet.
Okay.
1, what happened to that Sonya Deville and Carmella match supposed to be tonight?
Ran out of time. It wasn't, I guess, in the schedule. They formatted the show and said, oop, we got to pull something.
And
it happens.
And 2, every time I watch SmackDown Live, I sit entire watching Naomi and Mandy Rose. They are fighting like teenage girls in high school. I'm tired of that segment. It had to be the same one that Lana and Enzo Amore did, like 2016. Really?
Right. I fully understand.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
And 3, like I think they should have like Ray and Andrade be the last match of the night and have that birthday thing beginning of the show.
No, because they wanted the end of the show. They wanted the last thing you see is Shane and The Miz in the ring celebrating with the trophy. They're, now a unified front. They're on a unified front. They're a team now. They're going to work together. They like each other now. Shane's not as hesitant anymore. So I understand why that was the end of the show. You had the Andrade Andrade versus Ray match go up at the end of the first hour, so it helps with that. And then you have this at the end of the show. It all made sense because what you wanted to see at the very end. Usually, at the end of a show, you want to see the baby faces prevail, if possible. That's how you should always end your show. Keep the fans happy. The baby faces ending your show in a big, happy way. So if you would have had Andrade and Ray, then you would have had the heel the last thing you see. And we don't know where that whole Andrade Ray thing is going. And since there's no real storyline there and it's not like a feud or anything per se, it wouldn't have really made sense to have the last thing you see Andrade beating Ray because it's not like it's building to something bigger, if that makes sense.
Okay, and one more thing before I let you go. Last night, I found out last night and last week that they haven't shown the return of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Why is that?
All right, I want to say thank you for the call. And it's really because they showed it the 1 week, and then they realized, well, we showed it too early. Everything I'm hearing, they're coming back soon, but it's probably not till February after the Royal Rumble. So maybe on that Raw after Royal Rumble, they can start airing those vignettes. But they did it the 1 week, and then they were just kind of like probably like, ooh, it's a little too early to be airing this. It was a tease for something coming, but they can't air it every week because it's not like it's coming within the next month. So I think that was the reason, because it was just probably a little too early for the returns of both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Like I said, last I heard was that they could be returning around early to mid-February. So maybe right after the Royal Rumble, they'll start airing those packages again. But at the same time, you don't need to air them every single week, especially if they're the same package, because then the fans are just going to get, well, why are you showing the same video every week? Why are you showing the same video every week? So, yeah. We do got a text message here from 256. He says, I was at the show tonight. Ray versus Andrade was awesome. If you're curious, the dark matches were Heavy Machinery squashing the Colognes and EC3 beating Aiden English. Interesting. Last week after SmackDown, Heavy Machinery squashed the Colognes, so that's a repeat. Dark match. And then EC3 beating Aiden English. That's a new matchup. I like that. So again, if you guys do want to call in, 559-475-8473 is the phone number. Looking through the chat here, seeing what you guys are talking about. Some of you guys are talking about stuff from Raw still. Joey Decker says Jey Uso should have been sent in instead of Jimmy, kind of like twin magic. But why? Why? Was he going to come on to Mandy Rose? Because remember, they're both married men. So if he would have hit on and tried to hook up with Mandy Rose pretending he was Jimmy, then his wife would have slapped him. His wife would have been mad at him. You gotta remember, they're both married. Just because he's not married to another WWE performer doesn't mean he ain't married. Let's take a call. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Yeah, hello. Okay, how far do you think the Shane McMahon and the Miz are gonna go as a team?
Honestly, I could see them winning the tag team championships at Royal Rumble.
I can too. I mean, and then I could see them also defending it at WrestleMania.
Exactly, that's what I think too.
Mhm. But if they do, who do you think they will defend it against? The Bar or a different team?
That's a tough one because there's a couple different ways they can go. There's a couple different ways they can go. Either they're just always the babyface tag team that we want them to be, or there could be the other way where this is all a swerve, and Miz is really mad at Shane McMahon for not letting him finish the Best in the World tournament, and they do defend against some random team at WrestleMania, but
and then lose it.
Miz turns on him at WrestleMania.
Right. And then they could lead up to a match for that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Just a feud then going from there. It's hard to say because we don't know the exact direction where they're going with this. Because last time I remember the Miz being like a quote-unquote babyface, he wasn't this over the top. So I think he's playing it up, wanting to be friends with Shane McMahon because he's trying to gain Shane's trust before he actually turns on him and gets his quote-unquote revenge for Shane stealing his spotlight. That's what I think this is going to lead to.
Back in the past, Miz has had partners, and it doesn't go as well. So
right.
Yeah. All right, that's all that I wanted to say.
Thanks for the call, and have a great night.
You too.
Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Yeah, I got a couple questions.
Sure.
With all the new call-ups coming up, is Lars Sullivan, did he have something going on with him?
So I don't know exactly. I'll tell you everything that I've heard. So apparently last week, Lars Sullivan had either an anxiety or a panic attack at Raw, and he didn't compete. So then they said, okay, come to SmackDown. We'll have you wrestle there in a dark match or something. We'll settle everything, and he didn't show up. So then that's when the conflicting stories start to happen. Some were reporting that he just stopped contacting the company, that he was supposed to be at the house shows over the weekend and he didn't show up. They don't know what's going on, this and that. But then there's others also reporting that WWE is in contact with him. They know what's going on. It may be some sort of like a mental health issue or something, and they're just going to let him work it out on his own. And when he's ready, then he can return and they can finally have him debut. So I don't know exactly what's going on because there are some conflicting stories here. But he was supposed to do a dark match on either Raw or SmackDown last week, and it just didn't happen.
And it's fine to ask a question about Raw, right? Because, I mean, do you like Bobby getting a championship or not?
I think it's fine. I don't see the...
With Dean... Yeah, because with Sullivan, too, I heard he was supposed to fight Cena or something.
Well, that was the rumored match.
Yeah.
I don't know how locked in it was.
Do you think that Shane and Miz will have a chance to win with...
You mean at the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, for the...
I think they're winning the tag team titles for sure.
For Miz and Shane?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they do.
Yeah, like I said with the last caller, I think they win the titles. They keep them till WrestleMania. Yeah. They go to defend him at WrestleMania, and maybe The Miz turns on Shane at WrestleMania.
I was wondering, too, earlier when I was listening to you, I was wondering if maybe Shane would have Shane do it, but...
No, because they were going to have Shane turn heel, but now that all the authority figures are supposed to be baby faces that the fans like, they're not going to turn Shane heel anymore. So, but I want to say thank you for the call, and have a great night.
Please.
All right, take another call here. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, man, what's good?
Not much. Yourself?
Anyway, how long do you think, the fans, accept Asuka for being champion? How long do you think they'll, cheer her until they're, boo her, boo, we're tired?
I don't think
How long do you think?
I don't think that could happen anytime soon. I mean, remember her in NXT. She was the champion forever in NXT, and the fans never got tired of it. The fans never hated it, but it's because she had good competition in NXT. Once she's no longer dealing with either Charlotte or Becky, who's she really going to wrestle? Naomi could be a good opponent, but it's still not as good as some of the matches she had in NXT, like with Nikki Cross and Bianca Belair and some of those other good matches.
Awesome standing match.
Right.
Yeah, plus, personally, this is what I think. What if someone like Alexa comes to SmackDown as a part of the 2019 shakeup?
Very possible.
And she's like the 2019. She's the number one contender, and pretty much Asuka beats her in 25 seconds. Make her tap out to the armbar, crossface, or whatever her finisher is.
They will never do that to Alexa Bliss because they see Alexa Bliss as one of their top female stars. They will never make her look like a joke or a jobber. Never.
Who do you think? Well, I could personally feel on Nia as her long lost punishment for punching Becky in the face.
They're over that. They're over it.
Well, I don't think the fans are.
I mean, you got to think about it. If they were still mad about that, she would have never got the title match at TLC to start with. If they were even mad at Nia, she wouldn't be pushed as the third top female on Raw.
Yeah. Plus I got two more things, and then I'll be out. Then I'm out here. Okay. If you can change one thing about SmackDown, what would it be? Between the stage, the announcers, the day it airs on, the theme, and the roster, and what champions will be on it.
Well, we already know it's moving to Friday, so that's a change that we're getting in October. But I mean, other than that, I really don't think there's much you need to change. SmackDown, in my opinion, is a pretty good show. It's better than Raw most weeks. And I mean, The only thing I can say, maybe bring up some more women from NXT and put them on SmackDown instead of Raw.
Yeah, Raw. Yeah, plus
because Raw does have the better women's division, so you need to add a little more women that have I guess you say some of the better women from SmackDown or from NXT and put them on Raw or SmackDown.
Personally, what I would change about SmackDown is the theme. I personally changed the name to I personally changed the theme, because what's the current theme for SmackDown?
Oh, I don't even know because they don't even air the opening video anymore.
I personally changed SmackDown that this is our last dance to like some song called like I don't know Ozzy Osbourne, I Don't Want to Stop, or an old SmackDown theme like Black and Blue, or This Life, or The Beautiful People. I don't care.
Well, they're not going to go back. They're always going to do something different. They're not going to go back to what they already did because it's just like, why go backwards? We got to go forwards into the future. I assume if they do ever end up adding back the opening videos and stuff, when they do go to Fox on Fridays, maybe they'll get a new song or something. We don't know any of the big aesthetic changes they are going to make once they do go to Fox. We don't know if they're going to get a completely different set than SmackDown. I mean, from Raw, they do have a completely different set, kind of, but it still looks similar. We don't know if they're going to change like the name from SmackDown Live to just back to SmackDown. There's a lot we don't know when they do. They could do that too. Back to the Friday Night SmackDown name if they wanted to. But I want to say thank you for the call and have a great night.
Yeah. Yeah, and see you around, bro. See you tomorrow.
So yeah, there's a lot we don't know with what the changes will be when they do move to, Fox on Fridays in October. I can really see them changing the logo. I can see them not changing the blue colors because they're always going to be the blue brand. You have the red brand and the blue brand. But I can see them changing the logo. I can see them maybe, I don't want to say moving the announce table like they have for Raw. I don't think that will change. Now maybe, because they can do like they do on Raw, where Raw does have kind of like a quote unquote sports feel where you're showing the announcers and then behind them is the playing field, the ring. So Mr. Jones is me. The super chat donation says, where's Paige? She's still supposed to be on TV. We don't know. I know Paige has not been there. They're going to keep her around for a little while, at least till that movie comes out. But as far as a role for her on TV, they don't have one. So she's just still with the company, but doesn't have to work, I guess. I don't know what the thing is with Paige right now. We really just don't know. And before we do wrap this up, I do want to say that at the Royal Rumble, it has been announced that Shinsuke Nakamura will be getting his rematch against Rusev. Yes, Shinsuke getting just a rematch and not having to earn it. What happened to no rematches, no automatic rematches? That was 3 weeks ago. Things changed already. Back to the old WWE ways. Let's take one final call. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hello, hi. Is this for Pro Wrestling Unlimited?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I have a question to ask the host of the show.
Okay.
If he could. Okay.
What's your question?
Oh, I wanted to ask him about the show of SmackDown that he's talking about.
Okay, this is him.
Oh, it is? Oh,
Yes.
oh, yes. Hi. I want to talk about sorry. I'm kind of nervous. Sorry.
No worries.
I just wanted to ask about a few questions about the storylines that are becoming more edgier in WWE these days, like the women. Like I noticed they're using more inappropriate language, like not inappropriate, but oh my God, I'm so sorry. You know, understand what I'm trying to say. They're trying to make it more edgier,
Right.
And I noticed the women are having more adult storylines.
Correct.
When it comes to like Raw, like Alexa Bliss, she was in the locker room on Raw, and she acted like she was changing, and then she was covering herself like she had no bra.
Well,
so I noticed they were making it more edgier when it came to that on Raw.
Yeah.
And last week on SmackDown, I noticed they were making Mandy Rose come out in a towel.
Right.
So I was thinking like they're trying to make it like the Attitude Era a little bit, like to compete with the other companies like Impact Wrestling. So I'm starting to think that the new era is slowly becoming a little bit like the Attitude Era, by little. They're trying to push it into that field, I think. So tonight I noticed that Mandy Rose was in the hotel with Jimmy, and the whole storyline was, scandalous a little bit. They're trying to make it more edgier. So I was thinking that it's similar to the way Impact is doing with Scarlett Bordeaux. So I think they're trying to make it a little bit with that character with Mandy, since they don't have women that are able to push that storyline further.
Well, I want to say thank you for the call, and have a great night. On that, I don't know if they're trying to combat what Impact is doing with Scarlett Bordeaux. I don't think that's it at all, because WWE doesn't worry. They don't care about what Impact's doing, because Impact isn't affecting them. They're not in direct competition anymore. Before, when they were on like Spike, yeah, they may have worried here and there of things that were happening on Impact, but Impact's now on the Pursuit channel and Twitch. They did such low ratings that you can't even get the rating for what they did last Friday on the Pursuit channel. And yeah, they're doing the whole thing with Scarlett Bordeaux where she's just a sexy girl that wears lingerie and gets into scandalous scandalous moments or whatnot, whatever you're going to call it. But I don't think it's WWE saw them doing that and all of a sudden now they got to get their sexy girl in lingerie and half naked. I don't think that's it at all. I just think that they came up with the idea, we're like, let's do some sexy stuff. And Vince got a little excited about something. I honestly don't know why they're doing it. I know the Alexa thing has nothing to do with them wanting to do sexy things. That was all just let's do something that no one will see coming. Unexpected. So, I think that's all that is. But with that, I do want to say thank you for joining me here for the Smackdown Live review. We'll be live again tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern for the PWUnlimited podcast on Wednesdays. You can always follow us right here, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD, on Twitter at PWUnlimited, and of course, you can always follow me at Timmy Buddy. And also, check out our friends over at Fightful. If you like pro wrestling, but you also like the other combat sports like MMA and boxing, they're where you need to go. They'll give you everything you need to know for pro wrestling, MMA, and boxing. So yeah, go check them out. If you'd like MMA and you want to know more about what's going on in the world of MMA, check them out at Fightful.com. You can also check out their exclusive MMA YouTube channel as well, Fightful MMA and Boxing. So I want to say thank you once again to the listeners and the callers for joining me here live tonight, talking some SmackDown Live. We'll see you tomorrow for the PWUnlimited podcast.